Daily Broadside, day 679, as we end this July 4th weekend extravagance. I'm sure that a bunch of people seared a lot of meat, barbecued a lot of things. Of course, barbecue means a completely different thing. Barbecue is either a verb or a noun, depending on where you live, north or south, at least on the east side of the country in America. Much like toboggan. A toboggan is a sled up north, but a toboggan down south is something to keep your ears and head warm. But when we barbecue down here, it's eating a selection of meat, whereas barbecuing is a verb up north. But regardless of what you did and how you pinch it out there, a bunch of people seared a bunch of meat this weekend and barbecued a bunch of stuff. But here's what you didn't barbecue, more than likely. Fish. Why don't we barbecue fish? Why has nobody ever made me like barbecue salmon or barbecue halibut just for the halibut? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird that we put, chimichurri, whatever. You can put anything on fish except barbecue sauce, apparently. But, nevertheless, it really has nothing to do with anything. But more to the point of fishing, I was talking to a buddy yesterday, and he's an avid fisherman, and we got on the topic of fishing, and I was like, seriously, explain fishing to me. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've fished from a bank before, caught some brim, kind of boring. Fished from a boat, caught some stuff, kind of boring. And then there's a time I didn't catch anything. I don't understand what you people are doing. And fishing is, just immensely popular in North Carolina. I don't know if people fish like they fish here all across the country, but dude, I routinely ride. There's a big lake near my house, and I ride by it all the time. And I'll go by there at 6 o'clock in the morning. These people are putting their dang boats in the lake to sit there and just bake in the sun and maybe catch something. I don't understand, A, the enjoyment, and B, where the skill comes in. And here's where I'm going with this. So I'm sitting out there, and I know you got depth finders and whatnot, and I guess the temperature of the water, I don't know what it does, but it tells you how deep it is, and I think it shows you that there's actually schools of fish underneath you or whatever. So that's kind of like cheating in my opinion. So I don't understand what the skill is or the enjoyment. So the skill, there's professional fishermen. They used to be on ESPN, right? You'd watch Bill Dance and those kind of guys. It's the only fisherman I know. And they'd be out there making these tournaments and stuff and bringing in all these fish and all. What makes somebody a better fisherman than the next guy? It seems like it would just be completely stroke of luck, I mean, yeah, if you want to catch a tuna, you have to know where the tuna live. You can't go to a lake and get a tuna. You got to go out in the ocean, right? But absent knowing where those people or those fish kind of hang out so that you can best select, their face and put a hook in it. What is the skill involved in this? I don't understand it. And what is so fun about throwing something out, pulling it back in, throwing something out, pulling it back in, and on the 80th time, something grabs it, and then you pull it out, and you're like, look, it's a fish, and then you rip its face open, and then you throw it back. You don't even eat the damn. Most of these people aren't even keeping the fish. Like, this is the dumbest hobby. I can't wrap my mind around why you would want to spend all this money on a boat and all this gear and everything. And talk about gear. You ever been in like a Bass Pro Shops and you walk in, or some Outdoor World type of store, and you walk into the fishing place and you're like, there is no way on earth that there needs to be this many damn rods on this planet. Like, I get that you need like different line strength for different size fish. I get that. The reel's probably got to be a lot bigger to get a shark than it does the bass. I get that, right? But damn, man, like there's 4,000 of those things. I mean, it's crazy. You go in a guitar center, there's not that many guitars to choose from, and there's a million more types of music that you could play and tones you would need versus how many fish you could probably try to get. I just can't wrap my head around what is so enjoyable about it. And maybe part of it is I don't like just sitting in the sun baking, and I don't want to sit out in a boat and drink beer all day and then have to not be able to drive home because I've been in a boat for 11 hours and I've drank 19 beers. I don't see the point of that either. You can do that at the house and not be sweating so bad, actually get something accomplished. But I don't know. I think it's, what I think it is? I think it's a way, since most men or most fishermen or men, you don't see a lot of women going out on taking the old boat out on Saturday morning to go fishing like you do men. I think it's a way to get out of the house. I think it's a way to keep people married, maybe. I got to get out of here. I've got to go ride around and try to go catch some fish and all that. But I think the biggest question I have in this whole fish quandary is the fact that I don't understand what makes person A a better fisher than person B, or person A a professional fisher and person B just an amateur fisherer or whatnot. I'm pretty sure that you could keep yourself alive in a bear. They talk about, what is it? Black bears, you fight back. Brown bears, you lay dead, or vice versa. I don't know what it is. Polar bears, you just wait to get devoured. You got no chance. Kodiak bears, grizzly bears, whatever. They got all these rules for bears. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wing it when it happens, if it ever happens. But I will say this. I think that my number one thing would be to find the closest large tree. I think you could keep a bear at bay for a really long time just by, going one way around the tree and he goes the other way. And you just, how like, if you're trying to get into a car and there's somebody chasing you and they're at the opposite end and you just keep, and they, eventually you might be able to be quick enough to slip into the car and lock the door. But at any rate, unless they go over the car, they're not going to catch you, because all you got to do is just stay one step ahead of them. They can't be fast enough, right? And I know bears are fast, but I don't think they can go like 40 miles an hour in a circle like that. So really all you got to do is just keep going left, right, shucking and jiving. And you can keep that bear at bay for quite a while and stay alive better than you trying to climb a tree, because bears can climb trees at 87 miles an hour and they can run flat ground like 30, 40 miles an hour. So you got no chance there. Your only chance is to get around the tree and stay alive. Keep yourself alive. Keep yourself alive. That's a little Queen for you. And I've decided that after having recently experienced the death of a very loved one, I think that the only way to deal with death and make it okay for your kids is, I think you got to make a clean break. I think when you have children and you're dying, I think you got to ostracize yourself from them and get estranged. You got to do something and just cut the ties, even if you don't mean it, and you probably won't. But you need to be like, I don't love y'all anymore. I'm out. And that way it doesn't hurt so bad when you die. It's kind of like breaking up with a girl before you go to college. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off, and it's just a lot easier that way. So ostracize and estrange yourself from your children in your dying days, and then they won't feel as bad when you pass. You get it?